Hi, today I wanted to do a video on digital success. And if you're a Gainsight administrator and you're involved in digital success, more than likely you're going to be using Journey Orchestrator, which is a very powerful tool in Gainsight that allows you to create custom journey, as by the name, and send emails, surveys. You can send reminders via email to your own internal users if you want to. There's a lot of things you can do with it, and that really opens a world of scaling your success outreach, uh, you know, very, very powerful tool to use. There's two variants of it. There's the old version, the new version. I'm going to focus on the old, bit of a Salesforce Classic versus Salesforce Lightning moment here. The new version is not doesn't have all the features I'm used to have in the old version of the journey, so that's why I still use that old version. If you want to use the new one, by all means, it's very powerful. There's a really great UI experience as well, which is a lot better than what we have in the old version. And I'll show you that those elements here. So one of the elements when you create a journey, you want to load your participant source, and I've created one example here. I'm going to go to edit, and if you're a new Gainsight admin and you're used to have Horizon rules, well, that looks really foreign. Essentially, that's a reminiscence of what Bionic rules used to look like, the previous version of rules before Horizons. And there's some, pretty significant limiting factor here. So, obviously you can load your company, you use your data and do a merge. One thing you'll notice right away is that you can't do a preview on a merge. So that's sort of annoying, especially if you use Horizon Rule Data Designer. You used to be able to see the merge, is the merge working or not? And you used to be able to see that quite easily. So that's something to be concerned about. Another thing that is missing as well is there's no union. So you can do a merge, but you can't do a union of data. So again, something missing from the Horizon rules or data designer. So there's some limiting factors, but one of the biggest challenge I think that most people will find is that testing your geos is incredibly difficult, and especially when you might be part of one of the 70% companies out there that don't really exactly have clean contact data, and you have first name that start like unknown or first name is admin or something like that, and you want to send an email and the tokens just send a hi admin or hi unspecified user, uh, that doesn't look great. So you probably want to make sure that when an email is going to be sending out, have a review of the contact data, maybe do some contact cleaning and that type of things. It's extremely challenging to do that within the programs itself, especially with that type of data. So I kind of found a trick around that. And that's a trick that works both for the old and the new version of Geo. So essentially, I use Data Designer for that. So what I did is I created a Data Designer example. None of the data are true. They just case a point of showing you what can be done and what's possible to do and how to think about it. So I'm loading my company data, my users, my CSM's IDs, who I'm going to be reaching out to the contact and doing some transform here and there. All that is really easy. The transform, I can preview them if I want to directly in Data Designer. So that's already a plus over the just doing the queries in the programs themselves. Same thing, I can do a preview of the merge. I also, if I want to, or if I need to have a union option, so I can do a union on the table. So already you have so much more power, so much more user friendly. It's a big bonus there. But the key thing here is that not only I can preview it and I want to remind people that this is a subset of the data. So if you have 1,000 records, you're not going to see all those recordings and preview there. You can create a report from that the designer and share that report with your leadership. It's like this is the people we're going to reach out to, and this is the data field that we load in. So look at the first name is missing, or the first name is not right, or we're missing that user altogether, or that user is gone, is no longer active at the company. Now, all that type of thing can be reviewed by the leadership at scale in an Excel spreadsheet or even a report inside of Gainsight. How you do that is really straightforward. You go to the configure of the data designer and you have a universal data space option here. So you can turn that on, and when you run the data designer, it's going to create an object inside of Gainsight And that object can be used to create a report, and it can be used to load into the programs. You can also schedule that information. Well, you can have it refresh on a daily basis or hourly basis, however you want it to work it. So again, you got the full power of the designer, and then you can leverage that data into different aspects of Gainsight. One key thing I wanted to show you, which is a tip of trick I wanted to share with you, and in this transform, what I'm doing is I'm actually showing when I'm planning the email to be sent. And so I'm going to use that information in the program saying like, if this is the date, so let's say the 23rd of September, pick up that record and send email on that date. Don't do this record because that's future down the line. So you can create a rule or a formula that determines when those emails are going to be sent. So that gives you a bit of a preview of we have this number of emails being sent this week. Let's have a quick look to see, make sure there's nothing fishy in terms of the data that we have. Hopefully get to correct it. And then the program goes on and send the emails. So that's how much time I want to spend on data designer. I'll show you what it looks like on the report. So report very simple. You basically pick up that data designer object that you've created. Now notice my naming convention. I always put DD in front of it to tell me that it's a data designer object, not a standard or system object in Gainsight. So that makes it a little bit easier to find which one I'm looking for. And then I basically can see like the whole total record. So right now I've got 160 record. I know when the email is going to be sent, so I can sort those out and then basically share that whoever wants to see it and can verify all the data is correct and when those emails will be going out. If I hop back into the program side and I go back to my resources, and I'm just going to create a new query here. And I say data designer load. And again, this is all example. It's not real life here. It's like a cooking show. I have pre-built things in advance just to make it a bit faster. So go DD, programs, participants. There we go. And then I can start loading my account. And then I can, like I said, do a filter as I think I can custom or last day or first day of the month. I have a few options here. Basically, it's going to pick it up and send the email on the specific date that is shown by the designer. So call that data designer. It also makes it like really a lot easier because you already previewed all the data. I'm just going to do that. Save it, and now my query is added to the program. So if I go back to sources, I see if the data designer logo. This is the one I tested earlier on. And I can go on and just basically build all my participant information the way I want it, and then load my template and essentially have from one data designer a report that I can share before the programs are active and start sending emails to verify the data is correct. I can preview all my data and through my merge, my union, all through the data designer. And then I can use that same data designer object into the programs to control when the emails are being sent. So, it makes it easy as well if you're sending email to different geos. Again, that data designer here where I was showing you the emails being sent, I could just basically set that up like on that in Asia Pacific, on EMEA, I'm going to send those emails on that day. The programs would picking up those days and time and send them in the correct time. So that makes it really powerful, really easy to use, and it's transparent, right? You don't have to say like, well, let's just wait before and see if the email has been sent and then realize that, oh, I made a boo-boo. I sent an email to somebody called unspecified, which has happened to me. So uh, hopefully you find that interesting. Hopefully you find that helpful. And stay tuned. We'll create more videos in the future. Take care.